All right, hi guys, welcome to CTN. My name is Elizabeth.
And my name is Onella. And here at CTN, we have honest conversations about life and faith. And today, as you can tell, we have another guest seated at the virtual table. And a round of applause for Imi. Welcome.
Let's go around. I see.
It's literally round of. It's literally
Get with the program.
I'm with you. Hey,
hi.
Good to be here.
So what we normally do is, we'll ask you to introduce yourself because we feel like nobody can big you up like you can. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've been up to, what's going on.
Okay, so cool. Hi, everyone. Hi, you two. I'm Imi Agboaye. I also go by Uromi, and I'll explain that in a second. I am a law graduate who now works in politics. I'm very, very passionate about activism and everything that goes into that. And sort of a lot of my personal time is spent looking at sort of what creates society and what goes into that and what sort of pushes society forward and develops it. So that's like an area of interest, but I'm also a musical artist, recording artist. I play a few instruments, I produce, I songwrite, and that's, so there's the politics side and the music side, but it's 100% both me. So that's what I'm about.
Speaking of we're going to get to the political side of you in a bit, but as of the music side, you have currently got a song out.
I do have a song out. I've got a few songs out, but the most recent song I brought out is called Flow. It came out on the 27th of November. And it's a song about not comparing yourself to people that you consider are more successful than you in what you're doing, and recognizing that there is a path carved out for you to follow.
I really do like it. It's a bit of drill.
I wanted to try drill for my youngest brother. I can't lie. I was like, let me get into it. Let me know what these youngest are about.
It's
really good.
It is really, 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 really good. I do have to say though that my favorite song of yours is "Settle Down." It's one of my favorites.
Oh, is it?
Settle Down is
crazy.
Settle Down is
good.
It's one of my favorite songs.
I'm happy that is your favorite.
It is. It's a good song.
I do like that song. We wrote that song in like 3 days.
Yeah, it's a good song. It is on my car playlist. But yeah, so this is Imi. Are we gonna call you Imi or?
Imi's fine.
Imi's fine. So what we normally do is like a little icebreaker, if you will. And today Lizzie's gonna love the icebreaker because it's all about food. And there we go. That little food dance. So the question is, what are some of your favorite food combinations?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to say that last weekend, I was fortunate enough to try chicken and plantain tacos.
Huh?
That was excellent.
Chicken and plantain tacos.
Listen, when I make them for you, you'll understand. You will understand. As in chicken thigh, boneless chicken. All right, I can't go into all of that now. Let me list the other one. But anyways, that's really good. I really like maple syrup and bacon. I know that's not weird, but I remember the first time it occurred to me that maple syrup and bacon on pancakes, of course, just bang. Especially in like a McDonald's breakfast. That's really good. I used to put cinnamon in my bolognese back in the day.
No, right. It's okay. And then what's yours?
We were gonna let you off with the bacon maple pancake thing. I can see that. I've heard of that. But cinnamon in your
create a kind of depth of flavor. I don't do it anymore, but it used to bang. There was a time that I was just experimenting different things. Nutmeg in mac and cheese, though. I will die on that hill. I won't die in Jesus' name, but I will die on that hill. Nutmeg.
He
Try it.
cancelled it.
Let me do it. The way that nutmeg brings
Nutmeg
out
with mac and cheese.
nutmeg is ridiculous. Listen, oh my gosh, Christmas is coming. Chicken and plantain tacos and nutmeg mac and cheese. That's what's gonna happen.
Nutmeg and mac and cheese.
I guess it's because of the dairy with the nutmeg, and I can see why.
It's not sweet though. It's
it's that spice, that kind of. I can taste the nutmeg, but in mac and cheese.
Yes.
I've almost forgotten what nutmegs taste like.
This is interesting. I can't forget what nutmeg tastes like. Jamaicans love a bit of nutmeg at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Put it in the mac and cheese.
I'm gonna try it. And then let's try it. Let's do it this Christmas. Send us the recipe. We'll let
you just grate it on top.
No. You put it in the sauce.
Oh,
in the roux.
See, that one. If I do that and then I don't like it, the whole mac and cheese is ruined.
You can send it to my house.
It's not ruined. Trust me. Before, like, honestly, if you try it and you don't like it, I will give you £50.
Please, I'll tell you that I don't like it. I don't like it for free. I don't like it for free.
5-0.
I'm gonna try.
Let's try it now.
we should try it, right? We'll try it and let you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it and let you know, because that one sounds.
And you like it. You won't be able to lie about it.
Tell us the exact recipe though. We need.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Okay, you've got your milk, you've got your flour, you've got your cheese. Well, in that milk and flour, that roux stage, then you add the nutmeg.
Do you have any other spices that you add to it?
No, black pepper. Nutmeg, salt, and black pepper. Bang.
Okay, we're gonna try this and see how we fare with this one.
Just change the narrative.
I mean, does the narrative need to be changed on mac and cheese? With nutmeg? I'm intrigued. I'm gonna try and see if it's something that.
And then I keep saying we should try it together. How can you keep kicking me out of this?
Because basically, when I say I'm gonna try it, you're gonna be there. There's like no way around it. If I try it without you, you'll probably run me over. So it's fine. We'll try it together.
I'll be there.
Elsbeth, what's yours?
Oh, I used to have an obsession with but I had to cut it out. But Jamaican bun, cheese, jam, and bacon, all grilled.
Jam and bacon.
I need you to stop.
I heard the bun and cheese.
Stop. Bun, cheese, and bacon and jam. Listen, that
power
jam.
Packed. Huh?
It doesn't even need jam.
Yeah, pardon?
It doesn't need jam. Bun is sweet. Bun is like really sweet.
It works.
And bacon.
How the saltiness of the bacon, jam.
Yeah, you have an obsession with salt and sweet stuff. You've got a real weird obsession.
I'm just silent.
Sweet stuff.
What are you silent for? Try it. We're all trying new things.
One, cheese, jam, and bacon, and then there's counselling. I mean, choose one. You know, like
you're rude. For somebody that puts nutmeg in their mac and cheese, did you see us sending you to any counselor?
When you try it, you'll understand. Oh my god!
And you grill it. No, but you have to grill it. You have to grill it. It's not cold. You have to grill it.
Just because you say it louder doesn't make it any.
Listen, as a Jamaican, I
know.
I was all my chest that you're wrong.
I was hesitant.
How are you,
you had ownership
defining the sanctity of bun and cheese?
Listen,
this is not right. It's not on.
I'm not. Just try it.
I wasn't aware anything. What type of cheese, first of all?
Mature cheddar can do. I'm not a fan of.
Oh my god!
The
only cheese you eat with bun and cheese is the cheese that come out of.
And do that.
The one that's really, really yellow. That's the only cheese.
I know. I tried it. I don't mind, but I just don't like that kind of cheese too much. The processed cheese too much. But it works.
My opinion of Elizabeth has forever been changed.
I started to make aubergine and plantain curries. Aubergine and plantain, coconut. Fantastic.
That sounds like it can mesh.
It works. Everybody was like, "Ugh, what's that?" Then they tried it. They said, this is the best food you've ever made. I wasn't sure whether I felt insulted at the time, but I'll take it. It was good. Anything else?
I don't know if I can get over that.
Get over what?
The bun and cheese and the.
Listen, till you try it. Listen, just try it. Why am I being persecuted? How come everyone was like, oh, we'll try Emmy's mac and cheese and nutmeg? And then I said mine, and everyone was like, counseling.
Because it's bacon on bun, on spiced bun.
Listen, try it. It'll be fine. Anella, what's yours?
I'm thinking about ways to I'm thinking about ways to cut our relationship short right here, because that is blasphemous. That's not right. That's actually not correct. I can't get over it, Elizabeth. Okay, cool. Their own. Mine is very not weird. I have two combinations. I think I've spoken about one of them before. I used to do this all the time. Just bread, cheese, jam, pop it in the oven. And
hold on. I see a trend.
That was the same thing.
I see a trend.
But it's bread. It's normal white bread. It's not flavored bread. It's not bun. It's really, really nice. Try it. Put the bread, the jam.
You know what you did?
Go on.
You looked at the speck in Elizabeth's eye.
Mine doesn't have bacon. Mine doesn't have bacon. Mine does not have bacon.
It's the jam that's the issue.
Lizzie's had it before. You know it's bomb.
I have no problem denying that.
We used to have it all
the way back.
Time. Yeah.
I have no problem denying that works.
It's
and
so
I'm saying
good.
You just start some bacon with it.
Yeah, this is where you
take the upgrade.
Too far for
50p
me. Try it. It's really, really good.
Yeah, but Anella, you also have an issue with. I think you just don't like bacon.
Ooh, an idea. Oh wow!
I can actually live the rest of my life without eating bacon.
There we go. She had an issue with pancake bacon and maple syrup, which is something very, very normal.
I didn't have an issue with it. I'm like, I can see that. I can see that because I know that's like, I can see that. But it's just the bacon. It's the bacon and. Mine is not bad, okay? So that's the first one. The second one, this one I know causes a lot of divide within the kingdom. And it is, there are two things that I like to do. Number one, I can eat jollof rice and just mayonnaise.
Okay.
Because people do that with salad cream, so I kind of get that.
Yeah, I can do. When I put mayo on my jollof, people are like, "What's wrong with you?"
No, but not as a stew.
No, I and then mix it together and eat it like pasty. I like it like that. And then I like I like stew, white rice or jollof, preferably jollof and banana. And I know a lot of people don't like that.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
Because I thought, listen, I've been crucified for that. I've been Some people are like, are you okay?
By who?
Are you all right? Ife.
Is it young people?
Oh, she's like, that's disgusting.
I know a lot of like
absolutely disgusting
people that do that.
Especially the spicier the stew,
then you need
the banana. Makes sense. It makes sense. Sorry, tell them to stop.
So because it's just because I've been persecuted for it, I thought that maybe it's a weird one. But those are my combinations. But I would prefer to eat the jollof rice with the mayo any day of the week.
Yeah, that's not good.
I like it. I that one I can just eat by itself. But yeah, that's me. So
yes, over to me after that enlightening conversation. We've all said that we'll try each other's favorite food combinations, minus Nella's jollof and mayo.
I'm not trying bun and cheese and jam and bacon.
What is wrong with you? Why not?
Ugh, child.
Why not?
Child.
Nella, why not?
It's the bacon for me.
That's not
kosher. You eat bacon anyway.
What?
You eat bacon anyway.
Not like that.
Well, since we've come to the end of this food combination, we'll take this off.
I'm happy.
Right. Okay. So, what have we been doing? So for the past 4 episodes, we've been talking about Black Lives Matter, and the Black experience. And for the past 2 episodes, we are focusing, for the past 2, for these current episodes, for the one that we did last week, and for this one, we are focusing on NSARS. And yeah, it's a big deal. And we wanted to kind of get people on here who we felt had some informed perspectives, who are passionate about NSARS and about injustice in general, and had, I would say, engagement, I think as well, engagement with the movement, engagement with Black Lives Matter. So we've got Imi here, like we've said, and thank you so much for coming on. I guess the first question is, we spoke on the last podcast about the Lekki massacre, and we wanted to ask you, where were you when the Lekki massacre happened? How did you feel about the news when you heard it? What were the kind of things that went through your mind? So we're talking about the 20th of October, when Nigerians were at the Lekki toll gate and they were peacefully protesting. There was that curfew that came in before people could even leave. There was shooting by the Nigerian government. There were police there, military there, that were shooting at the crowd, and there were casualties. And it was quite a horrendous situation, as we know. What were your thoughts, and where were you when that news broke?
I was out skating at the time, but I remember a couple of weeks before, no, not a couple of weeks, sorry, a couple of days before, one of my guys messaged me. He's like, yo, Umi, I think something really bad is going to go down soon. Like, the army's going to move mad, something's going to happen. And just praying about that, really. And then that happened. And I remember I was on my way back home. And the first thing I did, I called my brother, one of my brothers. And then I called one of my friends. And it was like, when the protest started about NSARS, I remember being so moved with passion, because I recognized and I understood that SARS wasn't the only thing that we were protesting. Effectively, we were calling for an overhaul and wide reform to Nigeria as we know it. You know, not trying to plug myself here, but I brought out an EP on October the 1st, which is Nigerian Independence Day. And it's also the first day of Black History Month here in the UK. And on October the 1st, you'll see on Twitter, you know, half the people are celebrating like, woo, woo, freedom, and half the people are like, oh, well, are we really free? You know, the effects of colonialism, etc., 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 etc. So in the wake of all of that happening now, to be in a place where we're literally confronting the issues of Nigeria through life and death, rather than just political procedure, I felt heavy and I felt hot. I felt heavy because obviously the casualties. I mean, I remember when in a few WhatsApp chats, the DJ Switch's Instagram Live was being shared around, and I watched it for literally 20 seconds and I had to close it. And I was like, look, as soon as I get home, I'm going to bed. I can't really engage with this. And it's only like in the last 2 weeks did I go back and actually see what was going on. Honestly, I couldn't even watch it. And the only reason I went back to watch it was because all of this rigmarole around, oh, where were the bodies? If it happened, we found this evidence. Where's the evidence? Did it really happen? I needed something to show myself and say, okay, this thing was real. This did happen. And I should still be as on it as I was on the day. But yeah, at the time, I just couldn't look at it. And, you know, I think, well, Shah, that's the answer to my question. I can go on talking about it, but yeah. That's where I was. That's what I was doing. Those are the thoughts that were in my mind.
And so I guess, you know, thank you for sharing that. And I guess it's like you said, there is that slight disconnect, not a disconnect, but there has to be a level of intentionality to connect with the events that were happening on that day, and generally with the NSARS movement, because we are in the United Kingdom, we're in the UK. And so there has to be a level of engagement that we have to have in terms of information streams, etc. I would ask then, as a British-born Nigerian, what were your general feelings around NSARS, and how deeply did you feel the issues resonated with you? So you said that, when the Lekki massacre happened, you felt hot, you felt heavy. The movement had been happening, for a couple of weeks before that. So just in general, in terms of being British born and watching, I wouldn't say from afar, but yeah, from afar, how do you feel the issues resonate with you, and how do you connect with them?
The first day I heard of the protest and I looked at it, I burst into tears. Honestly, it was that thing. I was like, yo, this is the Nigeria we've been debating. Could this exist? Especially when I saw scenes of, restaurants creating food packages for protesters, chargers being left out for people to charge their phones, and all of these acts of service that were happening between people, breaking through lines of age, of tribe, of all of these kind of things, of religion especially. There was the day in front of the toll gate where the Christians prayed and then made space for the Muslims to do their prayer, and then they went back to protesting. I was like, this is absolutely crazy, and I love this. And I remember I cried. I was like, and it was a cry of joy. It was like, this is amazing. This is it. Let's push and keep pushing. And things like Lekki Massacre are there to stop us from pushing. But we won't stop pushing, and we can't stop pushing. And I honestly, part of me at the time, I wish I was like, I wish I was in Nigeria right now. But it's really coming to that point of, and you might have a question about this, but it's really coming to that point of understanding what I can do in diaspora, and how it can be of maximum importance there, here rather. Because after the protest, what happens next? Do you know what I mean? And so I'm happy that now in diaspora, there's so many things going on. NSAS West Midlands is doing a lot. There's podcasts starting up. Things are starting up to share and discuss thought as it comes to a new Nigeria, as people are talking about it now. And so, seeing that happen, it makes me overjoyed. Even if I was born in Britain, it doesn't matter. I still love Nigeria.
Amazing.
It's interesting, because as you said, you were born here. And I kind of want to ask you about your views on the fact, because you are involved in politics. Yeah, you work in politics. So I know that there was a lot of debating going backward and forwards about the intervention of the West.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on this? Is it important for the West to get involved? I know there was call for the British government to get involved. Is it a necessity for them to get involved?
I think in the world that we have today, it's important that we recognize the global community that we share. But anybody, conspiracy theorists, I did not say New World Order, please. I said global community. I just want to make that absolutely clear, because with the COVID vaccine,
that's asking to get the vaccine on your way out.
Everyone's moving, yeah. Please, yeah. We live in a global community, and everything we do has an effect. Like, for example, if you want to talk about lithium in your phone, trace that to Bolivia. If you want to talk about cobalt in your phone, you trace that to Congo. You can trace anything anywhere. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know where this shirt was made, but Bangladesh could have had something to do with it, And so everything's connected. And so we do need to look out for one another, absolutely. But specifically to your point, I do think that if we're seeking for any type of intervention, we must know exactly what it is we're looking for. And so I remember what you're talking about in terms of the intervention. It was calling for what are known as Magnitsky style sanctions, which are sanctions on individuals rather than sanctions on the whole country. And it was calling for them on certain members of the government, of the army, etc., etc. Now, that's good. I don't mind that. I did not sign the petition, and I did not encourage those close to me to sign it, mainly because it felt like a knee-jerk reaction to me, you know? And that's not a knock on anyone that did sign it. I'm just saying that, especially in diaspora, we can feel so useless because we're far away from the action that the first thing that comes that looks like action, we jump on that and say, let's get involved. And cool that happened, and I'm grateful as well for the debate and discussion around it that happened in Parliament off the back of that, which was good. And it's good to see these things discussed, and it's good to see ideas formulated. But honestly, if we're talking about democracy and we're saying that we need democracy and thinking about pure democracy now, then it must be the people that are directly involved, in my view, that should bear the brunt of what they're trying to do. They should really, really be the ones driving the change. And so because of that, I can't say that that the West should be involved in a kind of savior capacity. Yeah, that's it.
So having a little bit of a follow-on from what you just said, and it was sort of touched on it was sort of touched on a while ago as you were talking. There is this heavy contention between the government and the people of Nigeria in regards to what actually happened and in regards to accountability taking place. Speaking about what happened on the toll bridge. If the people are saying, this is what it is, this is what has happened, this is what we want, and the government is basically saying, okay, cool, but anyways, how then does democracy work? How then would it work if nobody is really upholding the ideals of it, if that makes any sense?
Well, I'm happy about the work that CNN is doing to showcase what Nigerian citizens are feeling. I think that it's great that the government doesn't control all of the media. It can't control all of the media because of these things right here. I love how social media is being used and has been used to show what's really going on, to give us real updates. You know, I'm sure during that time, especially when everything was going on, most of us were rushing to Twitter to see what was happening before we went to anything else, before we went to BBC, Sky News, Russia Today, whatever you watch, like Twitter was there first. Also, homegrown stations like Arise TV, smashing it on the ground. And I think that if we control our own comms, then nobody can tell us anything. And nobody is telling us anything. You know, we see what they're saying, but we've got our own references. And that's brilliant.
But do you think that, my question is, because I'm looking in on it, I'm wondering how then is this going to affect the democratic process? Because that's not being, from my understanding, that's not being, it's more of a low-key dictatorship kind of thing going on, rather than the voice of the people actually, what the people want actually being pushed through. So my question is there a solution? Is there any way out?
And that's why I do mention social media, because that's how we're having our conversations. With the advent of Clubhouse, for example, I'm on Clubhouse. It's in beta stage, and so many conversations are happening on there. So many Nigerians from all over the world. Like, you can literally come in and there'll be Nigerians in Toronto, Nigerians in California, Nigerians in Nigeria, Nigerians in Japan, and everyone's just chatting. And I think when we discuss these matters, I was having a debate on Twitter, just small little debate with someone who was saying, oh, we need more parties, more political parties in Nigeria. I don't necessarily think that's the way. But when we have these different schools of thought, and as we discuss and as we debate and as we construct and deconstruct, we begin to have more of a vision of what's needed, what's not needed, what's valued, what should be thrown away, what should be adopted. And I think that's where the power is coming from. And that's why we're having this conversation today. You know, that's part of it. Because as we speak, our mentalities are developing and our knowledge is developing as well and increasing. And, you know, eventually it will lead to somebody that that gets into a position where they can either vote on laws, or somebody that gets into a position where they can convince people even who are lawmakers to shift their ideas and shift their attitudes and shift their ideals as well. And so I think, yeah, social media is the start of our power, because we're talking to ourselves, we're in control of our own comms, we're in control of our own information, and nobody can stop that.
Amazing. I really liked that answer. I think you mentioned, I think there's something that you highlight there in terms of patience. You speak about the knee-jerk reaction, but then you also speak about deconstructing and reconstructing the discourse, and that in itself takes patience, because there's so many ideas, there's so many perspectives that comes across that. And so it's all about enhancing communication and ensuring that in the communication that we're having, we're able to, have a clearer vision, like you were saying. My next question about this, I guess, ties in with this in terms of the deconstruction, the reconstruction, and the creating and cultivating of a vision for Nigeria. The arts have deeply kind of captivated social movements, both positive and negative. So we see throughout history, through paintings, through writings, through music, they've communicated the sentiment of that time. So I'll mention that. So, for example, we have like Fela. He had, through his music, he had this is, anyway, as I was saying, we've got Fela, yeah, who's got a strong political, he was laughing at me, but I will carry on. We've got, even, for example, and I'll go to the West, we can say, for example, during the Holocaust, during even in America during the Civil Rights Movement, we see that these kind of political movements, political perspectives were communicated through music. There's kind of that liberation in terms of, creative expression, but that was communicating serious issues. As a musician, how important do you think it is for artists to use their creative freedoms to communicate the issues of the day, such as NSARS? For example, your one of your songs on your EP, that's talking about My Life Is Not a Game. It was written a couple of years back. Was that 6 years back? And that was around the Eric Garner. Was that around the Eric Garner killing?
Literally exactly 6 years ago, I wrote that song. 4th of December.
Look at this! It's your My Life Is Not a Game birthday. Come on, somebody clap! Somebody sing happy birthday. Look at this. It's not a coincidence.
Well, it's happy birthday. It's a birthday, but yeah, I don't know about happy.
Well, there we go. To that creative expression. So
sorry.
Yeah, so no, exactly. So, and that song has had relevance up till date, so I remember you were singing it at the NSARS vigil, and it's just amazing how music, is in many ways timeless and can communicate the issues. So yeah, my question is generally, how important is it for artists to kind of take their creative expression and communicate political issues, social issues, and can it make a change as well?
I think it's more important for artists to read and experience things, because artists can only put out what they experience. I've taken a lot of this information, so it's going to come out. And it's not easy to write songs. Of course, it's a skill that you need to learn, but it's more natural for me to write politically, because I live politically, I think politically. So just because you're an artist, please, I don't think, and this thing also of expecting artists to make a statement each time, I'm like, I don't back it. I don't think it's important for artists to make the statement. It's for artists to take in the information that they need, which is why I respect people like No Name, for example. We've started a book club, political book club, and she's a rapper and whatnot and poet, but it's also very intentional about what she takes in. And I think that's the most important thing. I think as artists, we can't be so focused on the medium of the art that we lose out on the message. And to get the message, we need to take in messages. And I think the artist should foremost be a learner than a leader in anything. And so for me, I would say, absolutely, if an artist has done that and has reached that level of attainment, and that has reached that level of attainment where, I'm going to say attainment, what they've attained is confidence and know-how and understanding and all of those things, then feel free. If it comes out of you, speak about issues, sing about issues, draw, whatever your art medium is, dance, whatever it is, then bring it out. But don't feel that just because you're an artist, I have to say something. It's that rush to say something that has people saying nonsense, and has people, sharing videos on Twitter without any explanation, for example, maybe about COVID vaccines, just for an example. And it's just an example, guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And, it gets them in trouble because you haven't done the consideration for yourself. Doing the research does not equal watching somebody else's opinions on something. So artists have to learn, look, if I really want to know about something or say something about something, let me go to the source. Let me find out what it's really about.
So we're just going to skip over that.
Yes, a very insightful. I like what you said in terms of musicians have to be, not even just musicians, artists have to be learners. And I think it's interesting because with any social, over the past year, and I don't even to say over the past year, but over the years, I think there's been an increasing pressure on, artists to make a statement. And it's like, why didn't you say anything? Why haven't you done anything? Why haven't you created anything? Why haven't you? And I think that's a very powerful message in terms of give yourself the opportunity to grow and to learn, and don't come under that I must make a statement, I must do something. Real good. Real good. I know.
Sorry, I'm just getting past the call out like what happened. But all right.
A moment of silence.
A moment of silence.
And then what's the coincidence though?
I know. I got there too late, so all I saw was the
I
didn't meet. Yeah, but I didn't click it in time. Oh. By the time I got there, it was already gone. I would have loved to see what it was. Yeah, it's been taken down. Wow. But anyways, if you know, you know. Speaking of that, just last week we had Jamila on, and she kind of touched on women's role within what's going on in Nigeria, and we kind of wanted to get your perspective on it, because we talked a lot about tradition, we talked a lot about culture influencing the position of women, and we really want to get your perspective on it. What do you think about the role that women have been playing, and how important do you think it is in terms of the changes that need to happen in Nigeria?
Women are at the front of this whole thing, and I absolutely love it. I think what it means is that we're valuing people for their skills, and not the social constructs that we've built up around them. Like, look at what the Feminist Coalition managed to do in terms of their organizing, ambulances, lawyers to get people released from prison. It was amazing, you know? And it wasn't because they're women, it's not, in spite of the fact they're women, it's just like, boom, it's normal, you know? And I think, you know, Thomas Sankara, he put it across like this. Thomas Sankara, he was the leader of Burkina Faso from 1983 to 1987. He took charge of Burkina Faso the same time that Buhari took charge. But you see, there's two countries went in two different directions. Sankara was a communist. But anyways, one of his, he wrote about this when he's writing about women specifically. He said, look, that's 50% of the population. How can our country truly be free if 50% of the population is wrapped in chains? And one of the things that he implemented as well was a national day for women where the men would go to the market and the men will take care of the children and the men would do everything. And he was really, really radical like that. But the literacy rate went from the teens to the like high 70%, you know, in the 4 years he was in charge before he was assassinated. And so, yeah, absolutely. Yo, women, go do the things. I love it.
You said, go forth. Go on. Do what you gotta do. I'm here for that. I really do. I like that answer a lot. I'm just saying, I like that answer a lot.
If you said anything else,
it might have been a very, very short podcast.
Was that a test?
It was a test. You passed.
Oh, we can.
Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah, I guess it's interesting. Okay, so you've spoken about women. What is there a male role? Is there any kind of, we know that within
I don't think it's about male and female roles.
Okay.
What's your role? Okay. What do you do? And so we're seeing women as lawyers, men as lawyers, women as doctors, men as doctors, and everybody's recognizing that, yo, if we double up on these things, we're more effective, you know? And yeah, that's what I see it as. Let's say we create a role that, all right, men in law, women in law, we're halving the efforts, women in medicine, for example, we're halving the efforts in each of those areas. Yeah. If we're saying, women and men, let's do this, boom, women in leadership and men in leadership, you know, we move twice as fast when we go together. And that's what I think it's about, you know. It's not even elevating the role of women, it's just making sure that they're doing what they were created to do as well. Because it's not good for man to be alone.
Have you ever heard that verse?
In that context?
You tell me. Never. That's the answer. No. No, amazing. So I guess my real question is, not that wasn't a real question, but my question is, since women and men, you know, we're going twice as fast together, there is no kind of gender bias in the ideal. You know, we all let us all function as we need to, and let excellence have its place. If you're excellent at doing something, do it. You know what I mean? Always, you know, there will be, you know, we'll have to obviously take, you know, there'll have to be restructuring of how society works and things like that to allow women to actually be empowered to take those places anyway. But generally, if we have that vision and goal, that restructuring can take place. So gender bias aside, what do you think? You mentioned, and I guess it's going back to the question earlier, in terms of the communication, in terms of, you said, hopefully there'll be one day be a leader that will be able to be eligible for people's votes, something along that line. What kind of, you said but what kind of leader, you know, what kind of leader what do you think the ideal leader of Nigeria looks like? Can you communicate the kind of leadership Nigeria needs, and how do you think that looks?
I think it's a modern leadership that doesn't hang on to any notions of tradition for tradition's sake. or culture for culture's sake. I think it's a leadership that listens. And this is leadership that I think even outside Nigeria, the world needs. Leadership that listens and responds. A leadership that recognizes. And when I talk about leadership, because I don't see the leader as just one person, I'm talking about the whole, anybody that's involved or close to the leadership needs these things. And I think even if we go to, all right, let's get biblical. 1 Timothy chapter 3, right?
You brought out the physical Bible and I am here for it.
Lay down the law. The law starts here. It starts here.
So in 1 Timothy, we get a kind of understanding of what leadership in the church should look like. And back then, it was like this, the pastor wasn't necessarily the pastor as we understand it today. You have your overseers, you have your deacons, you have your bishops, you have your elders, and your bishop is actually the elder of elders. The elders will say, okay, this is the bishop. Da, 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 da. Anyways, so I'm reading in Amplified. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This is a faithful and trustworthy saying, all right? If any man or woman, for our cases, eagerly seeks the office of overseer, of bishop, superintendent, leader, president, prime minister, whatever you want to do, he desires an excellent task, right? That's great. Well done. But then it goes into verse 2. Now, an overseer must be blameless and beyond reproach, rather. It mentions the husband of one wife, self-controlled, sensible, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not addicted to wine, not a bully, nor quick-tempered and hot-headed, but gentle and considerate, free from the love of money, not greedy for wealth and its inherent power, financially ethical. He must manage his own household well, keeping his children under control, with all dignity, keeping them respectful and well-behaved. It goes on. He must not be a new convert, so that he will not, and it's amplified here, so he will not behave stupidly and become conceited by appointment to this high office and fall into the same condemnation incurred by the devil for his arrogance and pride. And he must have a good reputation and be well thought of by those outside the church, so that he will not be discredited and fall into the devil's trap. It goes on to deacons and everything after that, but I think there's some great lessons even for civil leadership, especially being temperate, not falling to vice. And this is why I say that a leader must be somebody that can listen, because the man who doesn't fall into vice is the man that has accountability. That's what it is. If it's very hard, and this is why, even if you look at the 12 steps for Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff, and how they all even have a sponsor. If I'm going to slip up in XYZ, whatever kind of way, if you can listen to the people around you, you'll stay out of that trouble. So anybody who desires leadership, or anybody that is set up for leadership, must have a lot of these attributes here. Not being a bully. I don't want to talk about some people's home secretaries, but honestly, we've seen in the news sometimes. God is good. We've seen it's there in the word.
What's going on? Shots after shots tonight, fam.
I'm just dodging them. I'm just let them land where they need to land.
They're not in there, But yeah, not being a bully. That shows that you have regard of those even that work for you. Recognizing that your leadership is leadership, and it's not about being a boss. And it's recognizing freely I've received, freely give. Recognizing, as a leader, I'm privileged to be in this position, and I know I won't be here forever. So what am I going to set up for the people coming after me? And that's the thing. Obviously, being African, we recognize, and I believe dictatorship works in the West as well. I'll explain how. In Africa, a leader will say, I want to be leader for a long time, or whatever. And we've seen those kind of leaders, okay, who we call dictators. But there's actually the dictatorship of the whole system, where we see the same kinds of people being put in a position, and that's a dictatorship, like a class dictatorship. So let's say in this country, we know, it's well said, you know, the Eton, Oxford, Bullingdon Club, those guys, they make leadership very quickly, you know, and that's like a class dictatorship. Those kind of people are still there, and so that mentality needs to change, where it's me and mine, and that's why I say, cool, it's not just Nigeria, but it's definitely other countries as well in the West, and yeah, other countries. I'll keep it at that. I've said enough.
No, feel free.
It means sitting at the table, but he's shaking the table.
I mean, he's overturned the tables like his master.
Listen,
like the Lord Jesus.
Fuel for thine house has consumed. Anyway,
I think it is so interesting that you used that. So interesting that you used the you went back to the Bible and used that as the basis of what good leadership should look like, because it ties well into what I want to ask you next, and that is about the part that faith plays in what's going on right now. Would it be better if faith and people's religions were not included in building Nigeria? So in the sense that it doesn't matter what you believe in or what you worship or how you worship or where you worship or whatever, it's all just melted together. It's basically, there's a word, it's basically a moot point. That's from Friends, if you watch Friends. It's basically a moot point. It doesn't matter because all the religions are just they're all just, do you know what I mean? So faith doesn't really have a place in terms of the building of Nigeria. Or is there a space for faith? Like, is it important to build in the new Nigeria? Because I've heard a lot about the new Nigeria and a lot about the different ways to get to the new Nigeria. So
you guys really want me to talk today, isn't it?
Huh?
You want me to talk today?
As in, fam.
What you're here for?
I mean,
feel free.
Hello.
I got a cup of drink next to me.
Faith. There's definitely a place for faith. Is there a place for religion? Haha. Let me explain.
Wow. Okay.
No. That's why I said you guys really want me to talk.
No. Go ahead. It's good. It's good.
Religion is one of the ways that certain traditions have been kept going for a long time.
Yeah.
And when I said earlier, a leader must not hold on to tradition for tradition's sake, it's all of this tribalism kind of stuff that we're talking about here. Tribalism is very, very linked to faith, or even the practice of one's faith, even denomination. Certain denominations are from certain states, etc., certain tribes, whatever we're talking about. And it's like all of this politicking with religion does not equal faith at all. And I think right now we're coming to the time where we're beginning to deconstruct what our faith actually means. We're beginning to say, what do we believe in and why do we believe in it? What led to this point? I do enjoy theological discussions for this reason. And I think they're even made a lot more powerful when we consider, you know, how does this now lead to me? Okay, I can learn all the ontology, epistemology, eschatology, eschatology, all of these things, right? But then what does it mean for you and your faith? You know, even when we say the Godhead, 3 in 1, okay, for example, even that statement comes from somewhere, you know, and go back to the Council of Nicaea for that one. And so understanding where we've come from helps us to say, oh, that's part of tradition. We can keep that, we can take that. And I don't think religion, as it is organized now, allows us time to deconstruct and understand these things. We're much prefer using mantras and small sound bites. 2020, year of vision, you know, I don't know, 2021, year of restoration. I don't want to bet. 2021? Oh, I'm going to make it. Listen, December 31st, that night, I might put a bingo card together for how many times I'm going to hear the words cankerworm and caterpillar. I promise you. Right?
I'm so excited.
You know?
We invited you.
No, because you know it's true.
Restoration.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He said
the year to recover all. I can
see
it. I can actually see it.
Like, it's gonna happen. I'm so sorry.
It's the fact that he thought he had his mind to go in that direction.
I can see it.
He's formulated a whole to the point of got
Listen,
bingo cards. Can you see?
We're gonna hear Kanko a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no. We are.
She's angry. Put your hand up. Be angry.
But yeah, no. Regardless, I think.
No, your mouth is open.
Because I never thought of it until now, and there's so much truth in that statement.
Yeah, she's like
such truth.
You know, but we all right, cool. You know, anything that the years that Kanko and Castabel have taken away, we restored. Great, wonderful restoration. But then we can actually, instead of just saying 2021, my year of restoration, or how, because now I'm saying it, I don't know, is this prophetic? Could be, but as well. At the end,
Get out of here! No,
I just cannot.
Getting a double portion of everything, that he had lost before. Yeah. But I'm thinking more Ezra Nehemiah, rebuilding the walls. Yeah. Let's go deeper into that. What was deconstructed in church? Even us not being able to meet in the way that we would have wanted to every Sunday this year, right? In that, how was church deconstructed, and what does God want to rebuild next year? Yeah. So cool. I'm saying that we're very used to, in Nigeria, doing religion on the first basis. Year of restoration. Everything, restoration is a good thing. Restoration. Now go deeper. What actually needs to be restored? Mm-hmm. Is it the income that you lost because you weren't able to open your hair shop? Is it the fun that you lost from seeing your friends or going to Nando's after church on a Sunday, or the pub if you're from certain denominations? That's another shot. Don't worry about it. But honestly, what did you really lose? What really broke down?
Yeah.
It can be deeper. Is it family members? If so, when we're talking about restoration, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
We're talking about grief. Let's actually think about it instead of just bandying around these things. And so people, they'll come to a church and say, the God of insert pastor here, whatever this is, and boom, 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 and it's feel good and it's great. And the tropes are repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated. But then I'm just praying that when we talk about faith's role in rebuilding society, or faith's role in building society in the first place, that people are given the space and are encouraged to go deeper than whatever they think this is. It's way deeper. I've spoken to Nigerians. They're like, are you a Christian? Somebody say no. Oh, then are you a Muslim? And it's just like, you're either Christian or Muslim. But what does that really mean? What do people really believe? So let's get away from all of this, religious identity, wearing it like a badge kind of thing. Don't wear it like a badge, wear it like a, I don't want to say it like that. That's triggering. Don't wear your faith as a badge. Wear it as, I wear it like my glasses.
Go deeper.
Right now, I have one pair of glasses, okay? I'm going to get another pair for Christmas, whatever. But this pair of glasses, as soon as I wake up in the morning, they're the first things I reach for, They're the last things I take off before I go to sleep. It's not a fashion choice. It's not pick and choose. I need glasses. I'm going to wear glasses. And I will wear them with me wherever I go. I'm short-sighted, so I have to. And that's the thing. We need to recognize that we are short-sighted. This metaphor is growing. We need to recognize how short-sighted we are and say, yo, God, be my vision. I can't wear you as anything else. It's not a t-shirt. It's a t-shirt, You can just do away with it. The glasses that we need to clean often, that we need to maintain, all of those kinds of things. So religion is just a t-shirt. It's just a badge. It's just something. It's like football team, Forget that. What are we actually trying to see, and what are we actually trying to speak about? That's what I'm more interested in. So I would love to see a push towards real faith being had, even if you're Muslim as well. Obviously, I'm Christian. I think that's obvious from what I've shared. But I do have a Quran upstairs. I'm not well versed in it to share from it right now. But even if you're Muslim, like, even with my Muslim friends, I'm like, cool. We can debate. No one's switching their views. But let me know, what are you on your deen? Like, what are you really about? Like, are you really on this? Are you doing it because you're raised in it or you're used to it? Or are you doing it because, all right, you actually want to see something? And I believe that everybody who actually is trying to search something will find God. I do think so. And I feel God is going to just completely blow our minds and, you know, change our expectations and change the narrative of whatever we think we're looking for, you know. I've got this one story. I remember I was at rehearsals, coming back from rehearsal when I was at uni, and my taxi driver that was taking me back home because it was raining, he was a Muslim, and he asked me, oh, where are you coming from? And I explained, yo, got a rehearsal for church on Sunday. And then, you know, I'm from Birmingham, so I know a lot of Muslims, and I've grown really close to them. And so it's always going to be, yeah, we believe in Jesus too. And I just said a quick prayer. I was like, God, I really don't want to have this conversation again. Just like, give me something. And then at that point, my left knee started to, like, there was like a sensation in my left knee. So I asked the Don, I was like, yo, fam, is there a problem with your left knee? And he stopped. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, is there a problem with your left knee? And he's like, well, I've got a problem with both knees, but on my left knee, there's a, what do you call it, that you wrap around it? Bandage. There's a bandage that keeps around his left knee because that's got a real issue with him. And he asked me, oh, what is this? I was like, bro, I'm a Christian. Honestly, I just talk to God. I think that if you actually talk to God and talk to God without, you know, take God out of your own image and speak to the Creator, you will find the Creator. And that's it. That's who told me about your knee. And that's who wants to heal you. Boom. And it's like, now I'm a Christian. I'm not a universalist. You know, I do believe that Jesus is the way to heaven. But I also do believe that, you know, like Paul in Corinthians, some people have statues to the unknown God in their hearts. And I'm like, just reach out, you know, because if you call to him, he'll answer. You know, that's what I think.
I'm actually just processing what you're saying.
You know what it is? I love that you ended on the testimony, which, you know, is a test. I get what you're saying. You know, so if you search for God, you will find him, and that's going to play an important part. But I'm also, like Elizabeth, trying to process a lot of the shots that were fired. And you've not given us any time to get over it. So henceforth, the pause for reflection. That's what happened right there. There was a pause for reflection.
No, it was absorbing everything. It was a whole package.
It was.
But I think it's really interesting.
It is. I kind of just want to go back
a question,
a little bit though, because we spoke about leadership quite a lot. And like I said, I'm looking as more or less, and not more or less, I'm looking as an outsider looking in. And when I'm on Twitter a lot. And by the way, you don't have small Twitter debate arguments in me. With you, there are no such things. Yeah? So I don't know where you got this. Oh, I'm just having a small debate. Okay, cool. But going back to the topic of the new Nigeria, because I've heard a lot about it. I've been hearing a lot about this concept of a new Nigeria, of it's not EndSARS, it's Reform Nigeria. And I want to ask you this question. We've talked about what you think leadership should look like and the process of it. But at the moment, there doesn't seem to be a structure to the movement that I'm aware of, unless you can educate me. How will it move forward? There's so many different little factions of EndSARS. There are people who believe that everybody should go out with their machete. You know what a machete is, right? With your cutlass. You know what a cutlass is?
I was gonna say I have 2 in my house, but I can't.
Said it. See, like, carry
Listen, everybody, there are people that believe that they should take to the street arms and just take it, and there are people that believe that, you know, no, we should try and do it democratically. So there's lots of different factions, lots of different thoughts, but there is one thing that is for sure, from my understanding, once again, if I'm incorrect, you can educate me on this. There doesn't seem to be a leadership structure to it. How does it? How? Who are you? Who una follow? Like, who's like? Where is it going? There is an end goal. There's definitely no. There's not a cohesive plan to get to the end goal. But once you get to the end goal, who is then gonna stand up? Is there anybody that's gonna stand up and take the place? Is there anybody that's gonna come to the forefront? Like, is there gonna be an Obama? Like, what's going on? I'm just saying Obama because we knew that he was the president. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying Obama because we all know he's a president. Like,
Obama was a good politician.
I'm just saying. Okay, are we going to have a Martin Luther at the end of it, or are we going to have a Malcolm X at the end of it?
Okay, cool.
What are we going to have at the end of it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love the movement right now because there are no leaders. I think when certain people try to set themselves up as leaders, they got easily corrupted. And they're the same people that tried to dull the fire of the Nigerian youth when it was at its hottest. You know, there are people that like to shout and say, yes, you know, I hear everyone, but they're doing that just so that they can get their own turn in the master's shoes. Bun that. We're not doing that anymore. So basically, before we consider leadership, we have to consider vision. And it's not about, listen, God has poured out his spirit on all flesh. Let me just say it like that. And the sons and daughters will prophesy. And so vision is not something that is going to belong to one person. You know, Jesus already exists. That's the one person. So if we're talking about vision for a new Nigeria now, and leadership for a new Nigeria, and in all the things that we're discussing and all the things that are going on, right, it's much more important right now to discuss vision and to share those ideals and to debate those ideals and to come to new, fresh understandings than it is for somebody to stand up and say, boom. Because let me tell you the truth, if somebody does stand up, they will be taken down very quickly. It doesn't happen like that.
So you say the movement is essentially not ready.
The movement is ready.
For a figurehead. It's not ready for somebody to be.
I don't like the word ready. I don't like the word ready because that makes it sound like the movement's lacking. The movement's going exactly as the movement should be going. I think at this stage, the movement doesn't need a figurehead. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's more a thing of needs for a particular point of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than an absence and a lacking.
I'm just asking.
Oh, I do have an example.
Go on.
Oh, I'm not a pastor, but listen, there was a time in the Bible where the people of Israel, they really, really, really wanted a king.
Okay.
They really, really wanted a king. And then let's look at the king they got. Yeah. Okay. A king who was installed because of impatience. Because of impatience was also removed. And, you know, it's not time. It's not time for a leader. We don't need a leader. We still need to focus on who we are and build up those ideals of leadership. And it's something, it doesn't need to take years and years and years, but it's something that needs to be done properly. And I think that's what we're in the stages of right now.
Okay. I'm a systematic person, so I kind of like to know Wagwan, when Wagwan, how Wagwan, where.
Yeah.
And X is going to be here and B is going to be here. So that means that C
you are part of the movement right now. The fact that we're having this conversation, that's the stage of the movement we're in.
I get it. The discourse, the build, the tearing down and rebuilding. I get it. So when it comes to the time, you're saying that when the time, because I'm trying to figure it out in my head, because a lot of people have said no leadership. So I'm like, okay, if there's no leadership, who's going to get rid of the old heads?
Yeah. And
do you know what I mean?
The thing that we're saying, the old heads, not the old head.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Nigeria had its elections and Buhari was elected for his second consecutive term as president. He wasn't president in 1983. He was head of state. He took over in a military coup.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? During that time, there was some slander going on between certain figureheads, and one part of slander concerned a man who was president of Nigeria when I was like 4 years old, right? I remember talking about this to my mom. I was like, yo, that guy's been around for ages. I was like, yo, what was it? This guy was around when I was younger. That's what my mom said to me. And it's just understanding that, cool, it's not going to take one new leader to take out this whole cabal.
It's going to take a whole
of thieves and murderers, you know? So we're talking about a leadership, a new class of people that will take on these people and replace, not replace their attitudes, maybe not even replace their positions, just replace their significance.
Okay. I feel satisfied.
That's a good one, because we
I
can
got
go
it.
back and forth about that one.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that you mentioned not replace their positions, but just replace their significance.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just break that down a bit, because if we're
you can't use the master's tools to break down the master's house, right? This government will do things like set up panels, justice panels, and say, oh yeah, come, let's discuss. Yeah, well done. You go and discuss with them, they'll do nothing because they still have the power. I'm saying that we can't become part of this system that has tainted Nigeria, pretty much. And anybody who wants to enter, even if they are not corrupt, become part of this system of corruption, or are simply unable to change it. So it's an entire upheaval, not just a piecemeal replacement in part. You know, the issue in Nigeria, one of the issues rather, it's not, let's say, for example, it's not the president himself, it's the presidency, you know, and the powers that are conferred on the presidency and the way that those are enacted. So you can take a complete noble man, you put him into this system, and he'll flip based on the demands of the role and what the role leads to. It's in the same way that this two-party system that we have, because we talk about it in the UK, in the US, or in Nigeria, it leads to nobody really caring about the ideologies and just a mad dash for the middle, whoever the middle is. So in Nigeria, your middle actually is your poorer people. So who you see parties setting up stations where it's like, oh yeah, come and take bread, APC bread, PDP rice, etc., etc. And whoever gets the most of those people is likely to win. Or, you know, in this country, we know what the middle ground looks like here. There's a lot of talk about the red wall, for example. And so I'm using that as an example of how a two-party majority system leads to both sides kind of looking the same. So in the same way, our other systems, presidency, vice presidency, the way that the military work, anything like that, if you simply replace the people involved, because those systems are there, nothing will change. So in this country now, you've got Labour Conservative. Let's say if you switched out two parties for, I don't know, Greens and the Lib Dems, if they somehow magically became the majority parties, you would still get, they'll still begin to look like each other because that's what the positions entail. So we don't want to replace those positions. We want to replace the system.
I heard somebody say, I think it was Jamie. She said that there are 100 Buharis lined up to take his job. So that's not the problem. The problem.
So remove the job.
Yeah.
Remove the job.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I've stopped. So you think of the gravity of that. I guess I appreciate now why patience is needed and why such intense conversations are needed across so many people. Because if you want to be representative of the Nigerian population and you want to get that cohesive vision, it's going to take time. I mean, I guess I'm still trying to understand. I guess in my head, I'm just trying to understand what will replace it. You know, what that looks like. I guess as conversations evolve, the vision for that will get clearer. My last question would be, in terms of being part of the diaspora, and we're here. What can we do to contribute to the change? So you've mentioned conversations, definitely. If we're talking about the establishment of new systems, and for me, I always think in economic terms. I go straight to I guess money and things like that. And will it what is it, is it on our side to create institutions and create establishments with, as a diaspora, especially because, for example, Nigeria is in a recession now. So are we going to now take the brunt of, not the brunt, but take the responsibility of financial, how do I say it? Financial contribution and see it as an obligation to create institutions and to set things up in Nigeria? What is our role? Is there any role past conversation at this point, or is it just conversation? What is the diaspora role?
Yeah, it's not only conversation, but it's definitely, as I said before, when I gave the answer about artists, everyone needs to read. I can't lie, everyone needs to read. There's nothing new under the sun. So look at what's happened before, look at what's worked before, and conceive it now. So many people, philosophers, political theorists have written about different things. But fundamentally, I actually think one thing that we can do in the diaspora is to pray. And I know that sometimes people create a dialectic between prayer and action, but I can't lie, prayer is action, especially in stuff like this. And so we just continue to systematically pray. I believe that God will lead us to even the right conversations to have or the right materials to read where these ideas will be formulated. And, I've had a couple of ideas. I can't really speak about them right now, but like there are things that are forming, there are things that I'm researching and writing about right now and trying to make it just clear and salient, really. But it becomes clearer the more I pray, exactly what I need to access. And so I think in diaspora, that's what we can do. And of course, keep your eyes to the ground, pray and keep in the know, what's going on. If you've got friends back home, speak to them, ask for updates, see what's happening in your local area as regards to NSARS, especially in diaspora. I know there are rumblings of another protest being organized for the next few weeks in Birmingham. And so, yeah, I'll let you guys personally know when that happens. But yeah, just stay connected horizontally and also stay connected vertically. That's how I'll put that. That's what the role of the diaspora is to do right now.
The work that needs to be done.
That's why we're sober. We're sober because we evaluated and we said right. Yeah. Right then, to your tents, O Israel. Sort it out. I think that's brilliant, and I think it's really good in terms of how you've honed in terms of the necessity to pray. I think, and I guess it's not praying. How do I say this? I think it's praying with intentionality. Yeah. Pray to receive an answer. And I think, to hear and to listen and to know, because it's just a big job, to be honest. And I like what you said in terms of, at the moment there is one head. There is a figurehead. There is one person that we can go to and who can direct and who can provide wisdom, and who knows all about setting a kingdom up and setting one down. So yeah, that was amazing. Another.
At the end, fam. We've reached the end.
Listen.
Very interesting conversation.
Real good.
I think that over the last 2 podcasts, I have learned quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned quite a lot. And I think that there is such an importance in discourse, having these conversations, talking things out, trashing them out, getting to the bottom of the whys and the things of that nature.
Yeah.
So this was good, and I'm really hoping that people listening have also garnered understanding about what's going on, and about what we can do to help. I know there's quite a few things going on, but keying in on prayer, so important. Like Imi said, the call to action and prayer are synonymous, they're the same, but we tend to forget that. But yeah, this was good. Thank you so much, Imi.
Thank you. Strong
comment.
I'm literally going to go and think about everything a lot more now.
But also, can you see ourselves? We have all collected ourselves and said, right, hello. Look at me. It's so bad. He's like, I'm going to go to my cave.
Go to the cave.
Look at my scroll. Meditate. They're fantastic. And I think since we're rounding up, I will also just highlight all of Imi's creative work. So, you said flows out.
Yeah. I didn't know what you were going to say. I
don't know. I wish I'd thought of something more inventive now. Anyway, so flows out. You released your EP in May.
No, the Settle Down came out in May.
Settle Down came out in
October.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Your EP was first of all. Then it was May. So Imi's very well informed, as you can hear, and he's read a lot, and I think his music communicates a lot of issues very well, vibey as well, but obviously very very well written songs. He's got some amazing collaborations as well, so please do check him out. Imi, where can we find you in terms of your music?
Yeah, it's literally on Twitter and on Instagram. It's Uromi Music. That's UROMI Music. Uromi is actually where my dad's side of the family.
I was going to ask you.
How are you?
I was going to say, where did that name come from?
Yeah.
So it's the place in Nigeria.
The place in Nigeria.
Is it a state?
It's not a state. It's like a municipality. Like it's like one of the main cities in Ishanland.
That means literally.
Ishan is a culture that's in Edo State. You asked about state, so if it doesn't mean anything.
But you didn't explain that's how it's linked to a state, because then I can formulate it. Imi, you have to see with me. I told you I'm very
from Birmingham.
I'm very it's like being from Birmingham. I know it's
like
a place.
Somebody in Nigeria named themselves Birmingham.
Yeah, I know it's a place. I garnered that it was a place, but it's a place within a culture within a place.
Yeah, so Birmingham's within the West Midlands.
Yeah.
Right? And even within Birmingham, you have your Moseley, Kings Heath, Quinton, those leafy green sides, and then you've got the real Birmingham, where
what is going on today, man?
B23. Anyways, maybe not.
The things that you are deconstructing do not need to be deconstructed. They don't need shots fired at them. They're fine.
It is what it is. Do you know what's really funny though? like every other day, somebody from Uromi will message me and be like, "Are you from Uromi?" I'm like, yeah, like I am. Like, you know, or one time on Twitter, I was tagged in like this cultural day thing, and they tagged my my
Cultural
Twitter,
Bay.
cultural day. Uromi, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I rap in English. So like, I can't help you. You know, I'm so sorry.
Not me looking for.
Oh god, but yeah, it is what it is.
Is there anything new that you're working on? You'd like to tell us?
Yeah, of course. Next year is going to be a big year. A few collaborations. I just got a new phone, and I really, really want, like, I'm bringing out an EP next year, and I want to make like a music video with like all of the songs of the EP. So it's like a 20-minute long music video, but I want to film it all on my phone.
You can do it.
So hold on. Let's understand why you want to do it on your phone. Why?
Why? Budget.
Wow.
Restoration indeed.
Literally, not just budget. I just think it would be really cool. I think, you know, with a lot of my music, I actually make it on my iPad in GarageBand, which is a free piece of software first, before putting it onto Logic. I just like to use up all the resources that I have. And, you know, I'm not somebody to wait around to get the best keyboard or the best production software or the best camera. I'm just going to use what I have to get what I want. And then if I can do that excellently, then, okay, that warrants me moving on to the next stage. So that's what that's about.
Wow.
A word.
That was brilliant.
Very much a word.
Serious answer.
Huh?
I gave you the joke answer and a serious answer.
He needs a serious answer.
He said he gave us the joke answer.
Oh.
As if it was a serious answer.
No, and then the serious
answer.
answer.
And then the serious answer. We'll take both.
Exactly. We will take both. Just like earlier we say women and men, double going together, we'll take the joke and the serious. And
we'll take it all. So you said that Flow is out now. Want to reiterate that Flow is out. Can we find it on
all of the things? Anything you use, even if you use Tidal. Nobody listens to me on Tidal, but if you use Tidal, please listen to me. I would like to see the stats change.
Daisy's got money for Tidal to still be a thing, to be honest with you. But anyways, so it's on all streaming platforms.
Yep, and YouTube. There's a music video on YouTube as well.
That's Flow, isn't it? Flow is on.
Mm-hmm.
So, Elizabeth, where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram.
She still hasn't changed her name. So get a pen and paper, everyone.
Should I change my name?
Wow! Oh my god!
Pen and paper.
Listen,
I'm done. That was funny.
So at the moment, actually, have I changed my name yet?
Do you remember when it was Filmzec?
It was.
That would have been so much easier.
I was thinking I'd go back to that, but anyway.
She wanted to be professional.
I wanted my colleagues to find me. Anyway, so so my Instagram is Elizabeth Ekumelo. You all know how to spell Elizabeth, but Ekumelo is EKHUENELO. And I may have an update by next week, but for now, that's what it is. I would say I don't use Twitter, guys. I'm sorry.
Don't even bother.
I don't. Yeah. But Anella, over. Why's everybody shaking their... Listen, Twitter connoisseur.
No, Twitter's not for you. You have to be very online to like be on Twitter like that.
Yeah. Okay, go on then.
And some people are very offline.
And then what's your handle?
You can find me at both Instagram and the tweets at ONELLA_BELLA. That's at Onella_Bella. And you can also find CTN at CTN_UK, and that is for everything I'm talking about: Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes podcast at CTN_UK, and YouTube, Instagram. We do have a Twitter account, but we don't really use it, so maybe we'll just stick to Instagram. But yes, that's it. That's it. Liz,
Right.
Liz, do you want to pray for us?
I will pray for us on this occasion. So, dear God, I just thank you so much for this episode. Thank you for Imi, who came on today to share so much wisdom. It was such a really good conversation, a good space to learn so much and to gain insight. And I just pray for ourselves and our listeners, God, that we will step in tune with you in this season to really hear what's on your heart and to be able to enter this discourse with wisdom from the literature, from media, from different avenues, but also from you, and help us to make the change that you want to see, not just the change that we want to see. Help us to be effective, to be efficient, and let your will be done overall. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone. Thank you so much for Imi. Thank you for all his creative avenues, and just pray that you continue to help him, bless him, and keep him. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name.
Amen. And that is it, guys, for our Black Lives Matter series. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a blessed week. And if you try macaroni and cheese with nutmeg, let us know.
Let us know.
We want to know.
Or bun and cheese with bacon.
No.
Don't do it. Nobody's asking you to do that.
Let me know.
No.
You know where to find me. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.